This is the first episode in our series covering the most insane and unforgettable criminals in history, starting with an actual monster. In 2019, the world was shocked by the news that a monk had been murdered in Thailand. At the time, no one paid much attention to the story, assuming that it was simply a case of a murderer or mugger. But over time, more details started to come out. And when they did, everyone was shocked. The way this monk was killed was unbelievably brutal. This wasn't just any monk either. He was known throughout Thailand for his kindness and unique methods of teaching Buddhism. It would make anyone wonder why someone would want to kill him. Rasmi was born in Bangkok, Thailand on April 4, 1963. From a young age, he showed signs of being different from other kids. He was constantly getting into trouble at school and getting into fights. So at the age of 18, his parents sent him to live with his aunt, who was a Buddhist nun. After living with his aunt for a while, Rasmi decided to become a monk himself. Soon after, he became known as Luangpor Tun. Luangpor spent many years studying Buddhism in monasteries throughout Thailand. During his travels, he encountered many different people and learned many different things. Over time, he began to develop his own style of teaching Buddhism, which focused on helping people to see the beauty in everyday life. His teachings were very popular, and soon he had followers all over Thailand. But not everyone was a fan of Langpor's teachings. In fact, some people hated him. They didn't like the way he dressed or the things he said, but Langpor didn't let the haters get to him. He continued to teach Buddhism and help people see the beauty in everyday life. Langpor's life changed when he met a woman named Panya. The two fell in love and got married. Together they had a son and a daughter. But Langpor's marriage didn't last forever. Eventually, he and Panya got divorced. But even after the divorce, Langpor still had his two children. He was a great father who always put his children's needs before his own. He taught them about Buddhism and tried to instill in them a love of learning. Throughout his life, Langpor had a big impact on the people around him. He was a great teacher and mentor who helped people see the beauty in everyday life. He was also a wonderful father who put his children's needs above his own. Unfortunately, not everyone appreciated everything he did. Some people simply couldn't understand his teachings, and others were just jealous of his success. But despite the haters, Langpor continued to live his life to the fullest. In the end, Langpor's life was cut short when he was murdered in cold blood. But his legacy lives on through his teachings and the people he touched. Even though he's gone, he will never be forgotten. On February 12, 2019, Luangpor Tun was at his temple when he was attacked by an unknown assailant. He was beaten and stabbed multiple times before finally succumbing to his injuries. The police were called to the scene, but they were unable to find any leads. Who could have done such a thing? What was the motive behind the murder? These questions remained unanswered for months. As the investigation dragged on, the media began to pick up on the story. Headlines about the slain monk appeared in newspapers and TV. People all over the country were shocked and saddened by the news. Many wondered why someone would want to hurt such a peaceful man. Then, as if out of nowhere, a break in the case came when a witness came forward. She had seen the attack happen, and she was willing to talk to the police. With her help, the police were able to track down the killer. His name was Chayut Budsa, and he was a former student of Langpor's. But why would his former student want him dead? That question remained unanswered for a while. It wasn't until Chayut was brought to justice that the truth finally came out. During his trial, Chayut confessed to the murder and explained his motive. He claimed that he killed Luangpor because he was jealous of the attention that the monk was getting. According to Chayut, he had been a student of Luangpor's for many years and had learned a lot from him. However, he felt that Luangpor was getting more attention than he deserved. This jealousy eventually boiled over, and Chayut snapped. He went to the temple where Luangpor was staying and attacked him. He beat the monk with a stick and stabbed him multiple times before fleeing the scene. Chayut was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. When the news broke that jealousy was the motive behind the killing, people were shocked. No one could believe that someone would kill another person simply because they were jealous. To this day, the murder of Luang Por remains one of the most shocking and senseless crimes in Thai history. The brutal way in which he was killed shocked the nation, and the seemingly random motive behind the crime has left many people scratching their heads. While justice was eventually served when Chayut was sentenced to life in prison, nothing can bring back the beloved monk or ease the pain of his loved ones. The story of Luang Por serves as a reminder that jealousy is a powerful and dangerous emotion that should never be ignored. So what do you think? Was jealousy really the motive behind the murder, or was there more to the story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now check out this video right here, and please remember to subscribe and leave a comment. It really helps us out. Thanks for watching. See you next time. In another recent case, a teenager was arrested after allegedly killing his friend with a sword. It was reported that the victim had been decapitated and that the suspect had posted a video of the murder on social media. Police are now investigating whether the killing was a ritualistic sacrifice or simply a case of extreme bullying. The incident occurred in the early hours of the morning when the victim, a 16-year-old boy, was at a park with his friends. The suspect, also 16, approached the group and asked if he could join them. When they refused, the suspect pulled out a sword and began attacking the victim. Witnesses said that the attack was swift and brutal, and that the victim had no chance of defending himself. The suspect reportedly shouted, "I'm going to kill you," during the attack. After decapitating his friend, the suspect fled the scene. Police later found him hiding in a nearby forest and took him into custody. The motive for the murder is still unclear, but investigators are looking into whether the killing was part of a larger gang initiation ritual. The suspect's family has denied that he was involved in any gang activity. They described him as a quiet and unassuming boy who had never been in trouble with the law before. The victim's family, meanwhile, is demanding justice for their son. They say that the killing was unprovoked and that the suspect must be brought to justice. The case has sparked outrage across the country, and many are calling for the death penalty to be reinstated for those convicted of murder. Currently, the suspect is being held at a juvenile detention center and is facing charges of first-degree murder. It is unclear whether he will be tried as an adult. As the investigation continues, we may learn more about what really happened that night. But one thing is for sure: this was no ordinary case of bullying. This was a horrific and evil crime that has shocked the nation. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and leave a comment. It really helps us out. See you next time.